Welcome back to Super Talk Outdoors from the Foundation Studio, and thrilled that you're joining us on the Super Talk Mississippi Radio Network or on Super Talk TV at C Spire TV or YouTube or Facebook or your favorite podcast. We try to be there however, whenever people want to engage in our show, and we really appreciate you paying attention. Feedback we get is absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed that conversation with Alex Littlejohn. What a terrific leader he has been in Mississippi, and now he gets to bring his conservation chops to the sort of the North American scope of activities for Weyerhaeuser. I think that's so awesome, and I'm not surprised at all because he is a terrific leader. Now let's shift gears. I want to move over to my new friend. I've been enjoying visiting with him during the break, but it's Tyler Hines. He has a tremendous responsibility at Roosevelt State Park. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. But before we do, I just want to say good morning. How you doing, Tyler?
Good. It's a good morning for sure. It's a pretty day.
Yeah, it is. It's cool outside, that's for sure. So tell me about what you do at Roosevelt.
So I'm the assistant manager. I'm working on being here 3 years. I'm working on my third year here. And it's just, it's an exciting job. I love it because it's always something different. We get to be talk to the people in the community. We have our cabins and motels and campsites. So it just kind of almost a day-to-day thing on what am I actually going to get to do today, So,
hey, let's tell people. So it's in Morton, Mississippi, but for people who don't get it, what's cool about Roosevelt is that it is it's off Highway Interstate 20. And it's in between a lot of populated areas, so it's a really popular park, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's amazing. We have people come here from all across the state for sure. We have people that's been having family reunions here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But one of the coolest things I found is we have people that come here from Canada, California, New York. I've had a couple families that are come here from Australia. So it's just, and I'll talk to these people and it's like, you're from where? Australia. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, how did you find this park in Mississippi? And it's just, so we just found it. And a lot of them say, well, we found it several years ago and we just loved it so much that we just want to keep coming back, And so it's really cool because you'll talk to different people about, I've had people come from Colorado, and obviously Colorado's beautiful. And I've been there once and I was talking to them about that. And they're like, well, Mississippi's beautiful. I'm like, but you got mountains. He said, well, it's kind of a perspective thing. Y'all have all these beautiful trees and oak trees and, and it's like, you know what? You're right. We're just kind of, I think sometimes we don't realize how pretty Mississippi is, so it's like.
It's not as great a secret as it used to be. Certainly the internet has helped with that. But, one of the things, like I've had many, many conversations about the Blues Trail on my other show, the Ricky Matthews show. And for example, you can go to Clarksdale to the Ground Zero Blues Club, and at any given time, over 50% of the people in there are not from the United States. They're from Australia and Europe and New Zealand and long list of other places because the blues music has touched so many people, and they discover this place. And then they drive all over the state, going to the blues markers and whatever. And then they find things like Roosevelt State Park and in the process. So it is amazing how many people come here from other countries, who really enjoy this great state. And you get a little taste of it there at Roosevelt State Park. Hey, we're going to talk about some upcoming activities here in just a second, but I want to take a step back for a little bit. And we were chatting before we started the show. You, at a very, very young age, I think you said 5 years old, you were out enjoying the outdoors, and you found a way to make the outdoors your living. You made a career out of it. But who introduced you to your love of the outdoors?
So it had to have been my dad. Just real young. He didn't start hunting until he was a little older, probably in his 20s. But my great uncle actually introduced him. So them kind of together were the what built that foundation. My uncle would take me when my dad wanted to kind of get away and go hunting himself. So I was always in the woods with somebody. I can remember times that looking back, I'd be asleep in the floor and they'd wake me up, and that's before I even killed a deer, and I'd get up and look at the deer or whatnot. Or started out kind of squirrel hunting, walking through the woods. That was something for a kid, you'd have to be quiet, real quiet. We could walk and see squirrels, maybe see deer, but it was just being out there, and then we transitioned to deer hunting a little bit. And I always tell people the story of, we've always hunted mostly public land. We never just had a lot of private land to hunt. So we'd start out, me and my dad would go, and probably shouldn't have been doing it, but I would wrap my arms around and bear hug him, and we'd climb up a tree. It felt like we was 40 foot up high. We probably wasn't 10 foot off the ground. And we'd turn around, he'd sit me in his lap, and we did that for a while. And then I got a little older, got to where I could actually say I could carry a tree stand. The tree stand was about as tall as me, so when I'd walk, it'd hit the back of my legs, So we'd get there, he'd put my stand on, and we'd climb up, he'd climb below me. We'd just go up like that. We did that for a few years, and then we transitioned from that to where he'd help me. He'd go help me get on my tree, watch me climb up, watch me get my safety harness and everything on. Then he'd leave, and then from there we kind of said, "Hey, this is where I'm going. This is where you're going," and then we would split. And now we just hunt all the time. It's just one of those exciting times, like you talked about earlier of the year. Hey, where we're going to go? The chance, and it's not always about the kill. Just being out there is just magnificent for me. Just seeing God's creation wake up and stuff.
Yeah, we have a series on the SuperTalk Outdoors Facebook page that I mentioned at the first half, and I've mentioned several times over the past few weeks, called "This Is Hunting." And it's about the camaraderie and the generation sharing and the storytelling and the laughing and the eating great and all the experiences that are nothing about the actual hunting itself. It's everything that surrounds that. And when you have great memories, certainly you remember your first, buck, and you remember those kind of important activities. You probably remember every buck. I mean, I certainly do. But it's the relationships and the lifelong experience and the things that you've learned from all that camaraderie. That's what hunting's about, isn't it?
That's right. It's not all about the kill. It's about the experience for sure. And that's something that I think we need to strive to get more kids out doing that type of things, because it's you learn so much, about just life in general through the outdoors.
Yeah, you do. And I think about the time I spend with my two sons throughout their entire lives offshore. We may go 100 miles offshore together. And, I've got them captive for that in my, it's usually 10 to 12 hours that we'll be gone. And, it's in those moments when you're way offshore and I say, listen, you can't do that because if you do that, this might happen. And usually when you're in the outdoors, you don't get a second chance if you make a mistake. And like, for example, if you decide you're going to go do something dangerous, like climb a tree without a safety strap on, or maybe you forget to unload your gun, or, there's 100 possibilities, but you're learning all this as you're growing up. Right. You're learning all these different lessons that are about responsibility and accountability and safety that carry over into every aspect of your life that makes you a responsible adult. And, man, that's really powerful, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. It is for sure.
Okay. So when did you know that you were going to make a career out of the outdoors?
I guess probably like a lot of men in the South are like, man, if there's a way I could make money hunting, it wouldn't even have to be that much money, just enough to get by, I would love to do something like that. But I played baseball, went to Hines Community College and played baseball, and then I moved over to Mississippi State and went to school there, and I started out in engineering. And then my uncle was a forester, and I just always knew that, I would love to do something forestry, but as a kid, the thought was I need to get out and make as much money as possible, and money's great, but it's not everything. So I swapped over to forestry, and almost immediately when I swapped over, it was like, this is where I was supposed to be. And everything just fell into place, and I graduated, and this job here at Roosevelt opened. I like to tell people, it wasn't nothing I ever expected. I'm actually from here, from Morton, graduated from Morton. And I said, good Lord, open that door, and all I had to do is step through it. And it's been a blessing. So, and it's being able to, I always want to do something outdoors. And like I said, being here at Roosevelt, I'm outside all the time, and I get to experience something different and talk with people. And hunters stay here at Roosevelt. I get to talk with hunters and, just see how their hunts have been going and stuff like that. And so it's just, it never ceases to amaze me, just how stuff falls into place.
I can tell you love what you do and that you're passionate about it. Thinking about, picking careers and whatever and how outdoors controls you. My friend Terry Waldrop, I've told this story before, but my friend Terry Wadrop once got a promotion, and he told his boss, he'll take the promotion, but he told him, don't be fooled about what this is all about. The reason I'm doing this job and the reason I'm taking this promotion is I need to put gas in my boat. So he had it straight. And I remember, Tyler, when I was fishing off Courthouse Road Pier when I was just a kid, and I would watch these big boats, go past. And I thought to myself, one day I'm going to own one of those, I just really want. And early in my life, that's what motivated me to finish my college career and to really work hard. And of course, the older I got, the more I realized that the more success I got, the more I could more things I would be able to enjoy in the outdoors. It all kind of went together. But that's, most outdoorsmen have a similar story. They either got into it as a career in that way, or the success they found in their lives was a way to be able to afford their outdoors habit. But I love sharing those stories. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Tyler Hines. He works as the assistant manager at Roosevelt State Park off of I-20. And we're going to talk about some activities that are going on at the park these days. I'll get him to describe the park, incidentally, if you had not been there before. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back to the final segment of Super Talk Outdoors here in Mississippi, the capital of the outdoors in America. And boy, if there was a time in this state to want to be here, when you think about the great hunting that's taking place across the state, or some of the best backwater fishing in coastal Mississippi, redfish and speckled trout, it's a great time to be in Mississippi, that's for sure. I split my time between the coast and the Mississippi Delta, and I love it. I love the opportunity. When you were talking, by the way, we have my friend Tyler Hines, who is with Roosevelt State Park, and he was talking about when he was growing up, his grandfather or uncle, whoever, he would be sleeping on the floor of the blind, and then they would wake him up. That makes me think of my grandson Brody, who's 6, who really enjoys watching deer as well. But he'll fall asleep from time to time, and we'll let that be until we see, until deer comes out. But listen, Roosevelt has had it's a terrific state park. So before we go any further, why don't you kind of describe people what they'd see if they were to come there?
So when you come in the park, it's kind of strange because it's around Morton area. It's pretty flat, but you come in the park and it's really hilly. So you come in, you're up on top of kind of this hill, the road coming in, and you can just kind of look down to the right and left and to the bottoms. It's kind of a mixed hardwood type of trees or whatnot, and then you come to the gatehouse and the road splits or whatnot. We have a ball field on the right, and we have our lodge, we have the motel, we have 20 motel rooms, and then we have the old campground, which is called the Arahena Campground. Sites 1 through 42 is there, and on the back side you get CCC Campground. Sites 43 through 109 are there, and then we also have 15 cabins. 9 of those 15 cabins are CCC cabins, which were built in the 1930s. So they're really rustic, but they're really cool. And then you have a 150-acre lake that people love to come and ski and inner tube during the summer months, and then the fishing is good as well. So
that's really cool. Listen, one of the great developments in the last couple of years has been the recognition by the legislature that they need to invest in the state parks across Mississippi. And so they've begun to allocate some significant capital improvements across the state. Has some of those improvements actually taken place in Roosevelt?
Yes, sir. So 2 of our cabins have been renovated. So cabin 8 and cabin 12 have been renovated. We've been renting them. I think we started renting them back in March, opened them up, and they're really, really nice. And then there's some more. We just got some new roofs put on some of the cabins, some of the older cabins, and they're working through the process of getting the rest of the cabins we have redone. So that's going to be really nice. It's just something that the community, the people that come here deserve, to be able to stay in something that's really, really nice. And, because it's Roosevelt's it's a great place, so the amenities should be great as well. And then they're actually, right now as we speak, they're working on the campgrounds. They're going to redo 52 of our sites. They're going to make them about 60 to 80 feet long, 20 foot wide. When these campgrounds were built, people were still bringing, your pop-up campers in and stuff like that. And now just, the norm is 30, 35 feet, but some people bring in 40, 45 foot. So the sites just were not they could hold them, but they had to squeeze them in there, and you couldn't hardly park any cars or anything. So this is going to be great, for those sites to be redone. For the people that come in are going to have some really, really nice sites. The roads are going to get reworked. They're putting new culverts in and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on at Roosevelt, and when they're finished, I'm really excited about what it's going to look like, and excited just for the people to be able to come back and see their park. That's what I tell people all the time. I said, this is your park. This is not my park. I'm blessed enough to be able to live here, but I said, this is your park. This is everybody's park. So I just take pride in, people being able to see something that's going to be really, really cool.
I know in my many, many conversations with Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann and other legislators that the reality is that our forefathers did a wonderful job setting aside so much public land, whether it be wildlife management areas or state parks or whatever. But as it relates to the state parks, the things that you just enumerated, the need to upgrade the cabins, the need to go into the RV areas and make them so they accommodate sort of the modern RVs that people see. And the bigger issue too is that now that we're in this connected world, the traveler has an expectation, whether they're doing vacation rentals or whether they're doing RV traveling. There's an expectation about what they have come to understand and appreciate. And in order for us to remain competitive, we've got to be able to offer those same amenities that you just pointed out just a few minutes ago. So it's been a long time coming, but it is great to see the legislature in the state of Mississippi investing heavily in our state parks. That is for sure. Listen, I wish we had more time together. We'll come back together again in the near future. I'd love to have you back on, and we'll talk a little bit more about activities that are coming up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this has been Tyler Hines from Roosevelt State Park. I've really enjoyed getting to know him. And when we get back together again in the near future, we'll talk a little bit more about activities that are happening these days at Roosevelt. Have a great day. And as I always say, stay safe when you're in the outdoors, and we will see you next Monday. God bless you.
Thanks, sir.